All right, so I'm just going to do my review for the day. So I started off with Google. Google had been selling all fall morning, and it just put in these two wicks, and then I did a red to green move. So this was a back through open, and so yeah, I just got long here, and then it just immediately rolled over. So I just got out as soon as it rolled over. Power bar breaks. So a smaller loss for me. It did end up kind of double bottom and then reclaiming and had a really nice up move. So this could have been a really good trade for me, but just wasn't able to happen. But I really do like this as a back through open. Then I took Apple, and the idea on Apple here was that on the daily we have a lot of lines here. We have a 4 bar consolidation here, and then so we're looking for a break of these 4 bars on the daily. And I feel like it kind of messed this one up since I was in it from a pretty good place here. So basically it goes down, and throw these lines back on here so you can see what I'm looking at. So this was this 23 level. It breaks through the 23 level, comes up and retests it, and then just breaks the low of day again. So I just get short as it makes that break after it's done the retest. And I'm really looking at this partial here. Maybe I should just partial for a, you can see that RVOL was increasing. It's still pretty low though at like 84, but maybe I should just exit on maybe like a 1 minute bar break. So maybe here would be a good first exit. But yeah, I just exit here as it starts to put in a doji and starts to slow down a little bit. And then I exit again. Basically, it consolidates here for a little bit, and then I thought it should go here, and then it just kind of rebids. So I just exit another half as it rebids. Then it sells off a little bit further and then gets back above this level again. This is the break of the 90 MA on the 1 minute. So take another partial here. And then really I was just holding for the 90 MA on the 2 minute. So it does get above that, and A is able to reclaim and open outside of that. So I just exit this position. So my only critique here is that I felt since this was a higher time frame, multi-day bar break, I guess. So this was on the daily. I should have just held a quarter of the position for a higher time frame idea. So just hold it to break even, and this is actually resolving really nicely. So I often do hold for higher time frames, but it didn't even like cross my mind at the time. And so you can see that the Qs are still really selling off. So I was taking this idea since the market was selling off. So yeah, I just should have held a quarter. But otherwise, this was a really nice trade. Let's see. Next one was NVDA. So NVDA, this one was kind of tricky. It was pretty clean, I feel like. Oops. Yeah, so this was pretty clean. I think on the 2 minute even, yeah, it looks pretty clean. So you have this resistance area here. It puts in a top, big bar that comes in and takes it out. And then it's just able to reclaim and then wicks me out before continuing lower. So this is kind of unfortunate. You have the market that's really selling low of day. So sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here. So anyway, I thought was a pretty decent trade. This was a 20% risk for me, and I took a full stop on it. So yeah, I feel like this was a pretty good trade. Nice idea. Jeff and Justin were also short with this same sort of play, and I think their risks were both high of day though. But I think they got out for a small winner or something like that. So unfortunately, this wasn't able to work, but I really like the idea on it. And then we have next trade. So simultaneously as I took this NVIDIA breakdown trade, I also took a rubber band on Tesla, and I was alerted through this from Justin and Jeff, who also both took this rubber band. So yeah, just it's like really selling. Average RSI, I'm sure was below 20. So yeah, it's just deeply extended. We get like a 1, 2, 3 bar break, possibly even 4. Yeah, even 4-bar break. So I I enter here. This is a good volume that it bounces on as well. And then on the 2-minute, you can see it's pretty clean as well, just a rebid candle, and then takes out that prior bar. So just enter here with a stop below, and it really puts in a backside, and then it breaks through that backside, and takes sped up, and I thought it was gonna kind of go, and I was actually wanting to add here, but it didn't. Instead, it just comes back down, rebases itself a little bit, and then makes another attempt, and then fails that as well. So Justin actually gets out of his position um, whenever this rebid happens. It fails again, so he gets out of his position. I got out of mine over here. And so then I actually just take this short. I was looking for a VWAP continuation here, but I think that it had a resistance area here, a clear backside established, 2 pushes, and a failure. So I just get short here for a VWAP continuation. Wasn't able to reach VWAP, which is a sign of VWAP weakness. I didn't take this one on full risk. I think this was about 6%. And really just looking for a retest of lows. But I did have this area drawn out, which you can see pretty clear on the, well, I mean, even the 1, the 2, the 5, and I'm talking about this area here where you can see this rebid. You can also see it pretty clear on the 15-minute. So all those multi-time frame alignment, I watched it come into it, 215.60, and then it just rebids off of that. So I didn't like that it rebid there. I wasn't looking at taking profits there. I was looking at taking profits at low day, but after it rebids off of that level, I just get out of that position for, I think it was a small winner, break even basically. So I really like this idea. It was on smaller risk because it didn't make VWAP, but I really like the idea. And then I think that was the only trades I took. So pretty volatile day. I'm actually positive today, which I felt like I took a 20% loss. That was a pretty big loss, and yet I'm still up today. So yeah, it's just a very interesting day for me. Normally, I don't take 20% losses, and if I do, I'm definitely red today. So I think overall my selectivity was really good, much more than it normally is. So I'm really happy that I was able to just trade really high quality ideas, and I think those ideas are what kept me positive for the day. At one point, I had 35% risk on between the rubber band on Tesla and the 20% NVIDIA short. So this was a lot of risk for me. And I was a little nervous. I was actually long a short one while the market was holding below. So I think I handled that decently. I didn't freak out or make any bad decisions. And then I think my biggest issue today is just not holding this 25%. You can see it's really starting to melt and sell off. This is very clean on the daily. So this was my biggest mistake. It's just not holding 25%. But overall, really nice day today. And even though my P&L doesn't really show that I had a nice day, I think my decision quality today was really good. All right, so this morning we have some earnings from Tesla and Google. Markets are down. Both of Tesla and Qs are down. Google is down. So I'm looking for ideally a bounce up into this 229, 230 level for Google. I'm sorry for Tesla. Looking for sort of a gap give and go into this area. Justin's actually looking for a back through open on a quick flush through this 225 level, and then a quick reclaim for a retest of 230. I'm not going to take that trade, but let's see how this kind of plays out. The other thing is like Google is just like super weak, but nothing really tradable off the open for me. I'm also looking at UPS for a day two. Day ones have been pretty not clean. I feel like this was especially within the first, what's that, hour of trading. It was very choppy. So looking for a much cleaner day for UPS, for VWAP continuation. Apple has a really good consolidation. Just bring up Apple real quick. 4-bar consolidation on the daily. So just looking for a break of that area if the market is weak for opening range break. IWM has been it's put in a lower high, so looking to break that level. So I have alert set at that 219 area on IWM. So we have Google that's selling off of the open. Tesla is selling off the open. So Justin's probably going to go long here if it gets back through open. I mean, this is not a bad strategy at all. I just don't like it. It did not go back through open. Instead, it's selling. The market is holding up. And Google is still selling. Go check UPS is only at like 1 RVOL. So it looks like today I need to be a little bit more patient. There's nothing really here setting up for me. Google's doing sort of a nice back through open. I'll just take this as a back through open here on Google. and just get out of that. So I like that it was just kind of downtrending without any levels and then did it back to open. But market is still selling. So and UPS, we'll pull up UPS, see what it looks like. It looks like crap, so I need to take this off my list. Okay, so we're coming into this area. I'm not going to take this. I'm short. So it did a big break here. Market's very weak, but look at Arval here at like 0.6. So it's pretty deeply extended right now, so I'm not going to take anything on this overextension. Qs are selling though. So here it does like a retest, and then it's like right back down. All right, so I'll take this, the second chance. You see the volume is actually increasing, which is what you want to see. And we're actually below this multi-bar break here. So 222.27. So we're right there. And Qs are still selling. Let me throw Qs up here. And ideally I would get like a, yeah, see volume still increasing on the selling. We'll peek at Tesla and Google, which are still deeply red. So just taking half here. Looks like it's starting to consolidate. Qs are also doing the same thing. Starting to slow down a little bit. And let's just see if we get some continuation here. We've got like a nice bear flag hitchhiker here on the Qs. And Jeff just went short on Tesla. Sure, this is doing like a VWAP continuation. It's close to it. And we are getting this to resolve as well. And a pretty big rebid candle, which I don't like. Qs are still down quite a bit. This is some pretty aggressive selling here. So it looks like it's starting to slow down, and Qs are starting to bounce as well. Tesla and Google is up past VWAP now. So looking to take half on a 2-bar break, and then let's see what we can get on the 9 EMA. So 2-bar break is going to be here, and then go over to the 1 minute. It's actually going to be the 9 EMA. So does look like it's rebasing here. Qs are rebounding a bit. And the question is, should I add for a 9 EMA continuation? This is going to be this 222 area. This is 222.27. So it's just below. And for the 9 EMA, so we basically want, a lot of volume in selling. And granted, this is still like 0.7 RVol. But you want like 1, 2, and then 3 candles, each are which are less than the others, and then continuation selling. Tesla is still selling. Google has done a V-shaped recovery. Okay, so I think this is going to be very important if this is going to sell or it's not. Like if this rebeds here. And Qs, I think Qs and Apple like should kind of go here. And they didn't. Yeah, they should go here. So I didn't like how it just rebid then as it went down. So I just took half on that rebid. And then we are, so I only have 25%. And then I'll just hold for the 9 EMA reclaim. And we did get, so I'll just hold for the 9 EMA break for the on the 2 minute. Just watching the cues as well. Interesting. I feel like there was a lot of green prints that just happened. Tape kind of sped up a little bit. Cues are hitting the 9 EMA on the 1 minute. Meanwhile, we do sort of have like this downward pressure. But right now, it looks like it's been developing a base. And it hit the 9 EMA here in this rebid, and then it kind of should have just flushed. It didn't, so here we get some bids. Meanwhile, the cues are bouncing. So nothing to do here. If I do get, a really big flush or something, I will take partial into that big flush. And let me see if I can. So this is like one ATR down here. And it's doing less than 1 R vol, so whether or not it can make it to an ATR is probably pretty doubtable. Qs are starting to rebid, doing a 2-bar break on the 5-minute. They're definitely like consolidating there. IWM, VWAP, C. Not taking that. So the Qs are just kind of consolidating here. And then Apple still hasn't done like a 2-bar break. Does look like it's starting to slow down and stuff. So it's interesting to see if the Qs continue to sell really hard. We get more downward momentum. And right now I'm thinking I should take half because there's a pretty big difference between the so this is like 216. So I don't like how it's like consolidating and we're gonna get a multi-bar break above this flush. So I think I'll take half on the rebid here, which is at like 18, I think. So if I start to see it get really strong above 18, then I will take half and then I will hold the remaining for 9 EMA reclaim on the 2-minute. So coming into 18, we reached it and then it bid right back down and then selling. Okay. So the 9 EMA on the 1-minute. Definitely have a reaction here. Qs are selling as well. Currently it is rebidding. So let's see what happens here. We basically put in a high and a low. And Jeff went short NVDA for a VWAP continuation. That's very interesting. So this on the 2-minute. All right, so I just took half here, and then this is my 2-part break over like this level that it's been holding underneath. Qs are not really bouncing here. And then finally we have the 9 EMA. There's also one Arval here. Don't love the Arval, but I do think you have a decent. Probably just leave it alone since I'm struggling with the Qs are going down. Yeah, it's definitely fighting a lot more than you'd want. I don't like NVDA anyway. So this is interesting. The Qs are still holding below, but you have Apple that is coming to retest the 9 EMA on the 2-minute. So it's coming right into it at 50, and it opened above it. And yeah, I'm just gonna get out since it very aggressive on that move. Tape was speeding up and everything, so I think that's a pretty clean exit. There's not really a trend that I can go off of because there was never any like lower highs, but I guess you could say that. And then this is a 62. Unfortunate. Tape is definitely speeding up. Qs are going down. Justin added to his short position. So it is rebidding off of 63, 61. All right, let's see. This looks pretty clean. Market is selling. So really looking for a break of this 118.46. Qs continue to push lower. All right, so we have Tesla here, and we have NVDA. All right, so I have a lot of risk on right now. I have like 35% risk on, I think. We are starting to get the flush finally for NVIDIA after it made a lower high. So that's pretty nice. And just sort of actively watching Tesla and NVIDIA. Market is continuing to sell. So I feel like I have much more confidence, in the NVIDIA trade than I do the Tesla trade. But it is oversold. And so basically we're seeing, can we put in a VWAP continuation on Tesla? And NVIDIA just aggressive pops on low volume though. Seller looks like it's still there. But what I don't like how it got below this area, and I feel like it should have kind of gone here, but then it didn't. And then it immediately rebid. So Tesla continuing to rebid here. Sorry, NVIDIA. This was 216.14. Man, this NVIDIA trade really doesn't look like it's going to work out. But the Qs are still holding down low. They're not really moving at all. But we're just over here, NVIDIA is just consolidating. And this looks like it's about to pop back up. And it's just doing one RVOL. Let's see if the seller is still here. 119. So it's getting above it, and then yeah, just got stopped out there. So that's unfortunate. But on the flip side, I have a Tesla trade here. That looks like it is starting to work. Okay, so I will look to take profits at VWAP. Gonna take half at VWAP and then see. Looking for a rebid. Place to move my stop up higher. So this is 216.50. Just move my stop up to 216.49. Views are going lower. Now NVDA looks like it's gonna crack again. Kind of annoying. Apple, AMD, TSM. Going to add on the backside. To 1850. To 1850, adding for a backside. So market is still selling really hard. Oh man, I guess I don't have it enabled. I tried to add there for a backside. Let me go look at NVDA real quick. Yeah, so he's like, it's just like, it was like a little pop in volume, didn't really do what you thought it was gonna do, and then I'm just gonna get out of this position. So Justin just exited his Tesla position. I totally forgot he was in it. Both Jeff and Justin were long the Tesla rubber band. So I'm going to take this VWAP continuation on lower risk. But I do think it's, again, these are, I'm still kind of fleshing this out, so I think I should continue to take this on lower risk. But I think this is pretty clean. So it had, a couple of pullbacks. It had a couple of points. It had a backside here where it attempted to push and then failed, and it attempted to push again and then failed again. It's really struggling in this prior resistance area at 215, 218.50. Is it worth 20% risk? Probably not. Is it worth some risk? Yeah, probably. So I think you also have on the 5-minute, it looks pretty clean. You have the market that's still like selling off. It came up into the 90 EMA on the 5-minute, a couple wicks out. You have traders like Justin who are long, who are getting out of their rubber band on this wick up and then a wick back down. You really don't want to see that type of price action. But here it is. Looks like it's starting to rebid again. And so I just have to be prepared to enter this thing again. So I think I'm at 6% risk right now. Maybe these are worth 10 and then 20 if I want to commit 30% to an idea. does. So it's interesting, they're still holding their NVDA VWAP continuation, both Jeff and Justin. So I think it's rebidding again. The market looks like it's starting to curl, so it's finally broke out of its 2-minute downtrend. Five-minute, it's just coming into it. And let's see, let me just draw another thing. So we have like so on the 5-minute here, something like this, and then a break. And then another push up, and then all right, so I think we have a low that got put in here at 216.60. So I think if we break that, we should get some more downward momentum to 1660. So our high is actually 219.08. So we'll do 219.11 is my actual stop. And again, we are looking at 216.60, a break of 216.60. And some traders who are bolder than I might want to actually add here. I used to do this type of stuff. A lot of bids just got hit there. 217. There's 60 is, 58 bids. And I think you can add here. And just a rebid. Well, it closed lower, so let's see if we can get some selling now. The question always on these rubber bands. This is something I need to make a note of in my VWAP continuation paper. Is if you have a rebid candle, largely off of a rubber band, where do you take half? Do you take half at like this consolidation before the rebid, or do you take half at the low of day, where it's very obvious there was a large amount of buying going on? I think on this one, just from a risk to reward perspective, You should not take it at the 215.70 level, otherwise this trade is like basically a 1-to-1. And in this instance, this is 214.71. I'll leave this here just to see if people do rebet off of it. So this is 215.67. So we're like a 215.50. These are still selling. It is low of day. And I probably should have left on. I didn't even think about this. This is a higher time frame breakdown on Apple, so I probably should have left on, like 25% a core position just to see. So that's kind of a mistake. All right, so we are down at this level. This is 215.60 is the low. So it's probably having some sort of reaction to it. Definitely a reaction to it. Which just goes to show from a, yeah, and you can see it very cleanly also on the 5-minute. This is actually 86. So you can see it's also having a reaction on the 5-minute. And we'll just throw Q's up here as well. I'm sorry, Tesla here as well. Yeah, and it also aligns on the 15 as well. So I think you definitely have reason to take profits here. And the reason I'm not taking profits is simply because, like I said, from a risk reward perspective, it doesn't really entice me. And I would assume that this pop is just sort of shorts covering. The biggest factor that you face for a VWAP continuation is once it starts working and it's, kind of obvious that it's working, that you just put in a higher low, which may be what it's doing right now. So I just want to keep a very close eye on here because now I'm like going negative on this trade once it started working. So just want to keep a pretty close eye. And I'll just exit here. So this is good information, I think, for from a VWAP continuation perspective. Is if you have a rubber band and it's very clear, especially in all time frames, then you want to be careful about it coming into that area, and then maybe taking profits.